Hey, so welcome to the showcase of this landscape auto material. So basically what you'll have is exactly what you have seen in the trailer before. That's a completely automated landscape auto material. Basically everything that you see on screen is automatically placed. So I'll show you an example. So first I'll create a new level so you can see. So new level here, and I'll go for basic like so here. All right, I'm gonna delete the flow. So that's an example on how to use it and how to import it in your own level. So I assume that you already have imported the pack into your project. So basically the first thing to do is to go into landscape right here and create your own landscape. So you have multiple possibilities to create your landscape. Basically you have the possibility to create it by hand. You choose a number of components, the size and everything, or you go with a file, which is a height map. So I'm gonna import the height map that I'm gonna use. Of course, you can use another height map, you can use your own, or you can create it by hand. That's definitely the same, but that's useful for me because I already have some slopes and details. So problems with the height map is that it can't go below 0 and higher than 1 in terms of gray values. So I usually increase the Z size here on scale to have more bigger slopes. So I'm gonna create it like so. All right, have it. So now, basically, once you have your landscape, the first thing to do is to go into selection right here. I can go out of the landscape mode. Then I'll go for landscape right there, and I'm going to slide to find virtual texture right there. So I'm going to double click on it to add 2 elements. And I'm just going to click on none right here, and you should have those RVT cube, RVT textures here already that are already proposed to you. So just click on the color one and then on the height one right there. Then once you've done this, you go into create volumes here, and you should have 2 volumes that are already bounded for the landscape right here. So now we are going to go for landscape here and do paint, but as you can see, we don't have any options. So I just go into landscape here, go for landscape material, and then we are just going to go for the material folder, and we are going to click on MI landscape right there. Then on the landscape, I'll just click on this little arrow to use the selected assets. And here we go. Then you have those 2 layers that are created. You'll just click on none and select the layer that is already proposed to you here. So I'm going for landscape, and then I'll do the same thing for dirt here, like so. All right, so now if I go down here, as you can see, we don't have any foliage, but it is supposed to be automatic. The problems comes from the fact that the grass maps are not built. So if I go into build and I do grass maps here and I build them, it should work. Sometimes it doesn't work. Unreal has some problems with that, so I'll show you how to do it if it doesn't work. All right, unfortunately it didn't work, so I'll just go for assets, foliage, and here you have a landscape grass type here. Just gonna double click on it, and you have all the foliage controllers here, the density, the cooling and stuff like this. And the only thing that you need to do is basically refresh whatever value that you have on any of your foliage. So I'll just do 101 and then 100, and as you can see, the grass maps are building now. And then we just need to wait and we have all our foliage placed. Basically, the foliage that is in this pack is all the trees, some boulders, some bushes, as you can see, flowers, white flowers, blue flowers, and some plants. So what you have also with this landscape material is, of course, the cliffs that are automatically placed with slope values. And also, something important is a sea level. As you can see here, it's full of dirt, sand, texture, because the sea level for this landscape material is set to this value. It stops here. And as you can see, we don't have any foliage past this value. So, how does it work? If we go into our material instance right there, we have some parameters. Here are the basic landscape controllers and the layers controllers. For every layer that you have, basically the grass, the cliffs, and the dirt, you have a color-tint parameter and a tiling parameter. You also have an emissive parameter for the grass if you want it to be shiny. And for the cliffs, we have some distance blend range to control the tiling if we are far from the cliff or near the cliff. So if we go into what is really interesting is those values. So slope blend sharpness and slope blend bias are the controllers for the cliff. As you can see, if I decrease this value, for example, I have more cliffs, and if I increase it, I have less cliffs. I find that 30 and minus 13 are good values, but you can change them, of course. Here you have tiling transition noise. It is a noise applied on the transitions between the material to make it feel natural. You can change the tiling if you want. And for the sea level, we have the dirt elevation offset here. So the value that I've set for the showcase of the landscape is 70, because it works well with where I've put with the water. I'll show you how to put the water then. So just if you decrease this value, of course you don't have any dirt, and if you increase it, we'll start seeing some dirt like so. So what you need to do basically is to find where you want your sea. I'll show you how to add the sea in this word, so you can do it for your own landscape. So basically, I'll just add a plane here, and I am going to put it to, okay, it's way too close from the camera, that's a problem. I'll just do this and then right click on it and do snap object to view here. So the plane is there. Of course I need to reset the rotation values, and then we are just going to go on top here and then look for a plane. The goal for a plane is to be placed, of course, at the middle, something like this here, and then be increased to the size of the landscape. So we'll just increase that size right there. Alright, something 5,000, big to big, maybe. Something like so for the example, it will work. Then we can go into perspective mode again, and then we are going to check for our C, which is somewhere around here, like so, yes. And then you just need to choose where you want your C to be. Actually, I don't know, I'll check for an example. I want it to be here, for example. What you are going to do now is, of course, go for a water material, which is in the material folder here, and just drop the instance here. And then you just need to go for your landscape material and go for dirt elevation offset here and manage it to be at the good value. I think 69 is a good value for that. So you have a transition between the grass and the sand like so. So as you can see, we have the sea like this, that is working great. If the landscape had another place where it just falls down, or we have one like here. So you'll see how it works. Basically here, it's exactly the same thing. You have your transition between the grass and the sand for the water. What's interesting with this water material actually is that you have some parameters, a lot of parameters. Most of them are already configured and you don't need to move them, but I'll show you some of them that can be useful for you. First of all is the sparkling emissive parameters, which are emissive contrast is how much you want it. You want some emissive. As you can see, if I increase the contrast, we don't have any. If I decrease it, like to a value of 7, 2, the more you decrease it, the more you have emissive in your water. So it's just something that you need to configure by yourself. Then also you have the waves, which are normal waves. You have 2 types of them that you can control. I've set not many difference between the wave actually, but if we go here, we can see that I can change the tiling to something like so, and you have bigger waves, I suppose, but the value seems to be a bit too... No, okay, if you increase it, you have bigger waves. Yeah, that's a divide parameter, sorry. If you increase it, you have bigger waves. If you decrease it, you have smaller waves in terms of tiling. And you can have 2 types of them. You can have 2 big waves or 2 low waves, or you can do what I did before is right, like mid and 1 small. You can change the speed of them, of course, on both X and Y axis. If I just do 0.8, you'll see that the water is moving faster. But I want something calm. You have some foam parameters, and what's interesting here, the water-based parameters. So basically, what is important in those parameters is the absorption, the opacity, the color, and the murkiness. Here, you have a parameter to change the color, but as you can see, it doesn't change any color. That's because this material is working entirely on Unreal water system, which is just giving you values, and he deduced some natural parameters for that. But if you want to change the color, you can just increase here. Be slow when increasing the value, because if I just do this, it's not water anymore. So be something like this, maybe 0.2. The absorption color, you just need to slide this material and it will change how much the water absorbs with lights. And the murkiness, which is how dark the water is depending on the depth of the water. As you can see here, it's working like it is full ocean with 500 meters of deepness, so you can control this. Of course, depending on the parameter that you have, you can use that for a lake or for a sea. That's just how you want it to be. So that's basically it, or everything is placed automatically. So what you can add also is some background mountains that are far terrain. You can just place one, I don't know, something around here, and then just increase the size by 200, like so. And then, okay, it's way too big, like 100 maybe, 75, 75, 75, yeah, great. And then you can just place it like so, and when you are in your landscape like this, here you have some background mountains. Of course, you need to fog them, to put them into a fog with the exponential height fog or the easy fog or any tool that you have, but that's a way to add details, as you can see in the trailer that you've seen before. If you want to add some path also to describe where your character is supposed to work, to walk, sorry, you just need to go into landscape here, go for paint, then select the dirt layer, and then you can paint. Just wait for it to load. You can paint a path doing what you want to do here, like so, for example. As you can see, we don't have any foliage that is on the path. Of course, there is some on the transition, but you can just increase or decrease the fall off to control that better. But if I do that on a tree, you can see that the tree is disappearing. Also, I'll show you, but it's optimized. So if we go into level here, just wait to load. We'll just wait for foliage to load also here. And as you can see, it's absolutely not laggy at all. It's really optimized. There is also an option for the trees here. As you can see, the trees are always placed like straight. They are not aligned to the normal or the surface to make it work, so there is no problems with the bottom. Oh, need to increase that. The trees are already imported with a translation parameter, as you can see, that put them a bit down in the world, so you don't have any problem with the bottom. I suppose that if you are importing your own trees, you might want to know how to do this. That's basically, you can just re-import with a new file here, and it will work like my trees are working. But if you're importing one, you need to be sure that when you're importing it, you have, I'll just import another tree. If I do, I'll just take a tree so you can see. All right, so if I import this tree, like, it will re-import, of course. That's a problem that I have. I'll just duplicate it. I'll just duplicate it and put that like this. So here, if you want to have this already working when you're importing it, you need to be sure that in import translation, you put a value like -30 or minus more if you have bigger trees. So just need to be sure about that. Just delete. Import the tree. No, okay, it didn't import. Perfect. So that's basically it. If I go back into my level here, you have the landscape showcase, so you can see what I've done for this wall. Basically, the only thing that I added is a little lake. I'll show you how to add this lake. I'll just wait to work. All right. You have already placed cameras, so you can see different angle and beautiful shots. Those are the shots from the trailer. So basically, I'll just go for the lake that I've placed. Where is it? Where is it? Here. All right. That's a little lake here. So if you want to add a lake like this, basically you just need to go to a place kind of flat, maybe here, and you just go for landscape, then you go for sculpt here, and you just sculpt it to have a lake form, something like this. I'm gonna, of course, smooth it. I'll just increase the brush size so it's smoother here. Then I'll just go for flatten, just reuse this value here and put everything to the same. Oh, I need to be bigger brush. Put everything to the same value for the bottom, like so, here. And then of course you need to, if it is below sea level, higher than the sea level, you need to go into paint and paint the floor with the dirt. So I'll just increase the tool strength here and you just need to play with here, so you don't have any foliage in the middle of it. That's just how it works. Something like this here. Alright, and then I can increase the brush size like this. And then of course, same thing, you just go for a plane. I'll just make it here. So shape, plane, and just increase its size and put that where you want it to be. So something like this. And then you just take the water material that we have there and put that here. So you can see it's really easy to do. If you have some questions, feel free to ask them in the comments, and I'll be happy to help. Thank you, and I hope that you'll be satisfied with the pack. Don't forget to review it if you buy it. It will help a lot. Thanks.